If you couldn't find your thermostat to turn off your AC, you would expect to get a higher electric bill. If you can't turn off your water, you're going to have a big water bill. The logic is pretty simple. Tonight, as KPRC2 investigator Amy Davis continues digging into the Houston Water Department, she has learned the city has lost some very important equipment, and it's costing all of us millions of dollars in higher bills.
Water leaks and breaks, clear water bubbling up, gushing, flowing across roadways and right into the gutter.
It looked like Niagara Falls.
We've all seen it everywhere in Houston. The city is now averaging more than 500 leaks a day, water pipes cracking and breaking. But while citizens report the gushing water and crews rush to repair the leaks, there's a bigger problem.
They came out and didn't know where our lines were, so they just kind of scratched their head. They didn't know what to do.
Laura Beaver says a major leak in her townhome community near Tanglewood flowed for weeks, well after residents reported it to 311. Not because the city didn't have the crews to respond, but because when they showed up, Laura says they didn't know where to dig. A public works employee told her the maps for her community's water lines and pipes don't exist.
They said they lost them maybe in a hurricane. I don't know if that's right.
Houston City Council member Robert Gallego says a public works crew at the scene of another water main break told him the same thing.
He informed me, council member, we could have had this fixed within 2 hours. Unfortunately, the problem is that the old infrastructure, the maps are outdated, and they were trying to find out where that cutoff valve was.
Lost pipes and cutoff valves nearly 3 months after Gallegos reported the problem at a city council meeting in November. We asked him for more specifics.
They were talking about, having to figure this out several blocks where the main cutoff valve.
Drive around.
Right, driving around, trying to figure out, because the map they had just didn't make any sense to them.
It didn't make any sense to Jeff Balke or his neighbors in Forest West, who reported this leak on Pinemont in early December. Some 400 complaints through 311.
It's definitely a problem just from a wasting water standpoint.
City crews came out, put down these cones, and left, leaving the leak gushing for several more weeks. In January, homeowners sent KPRC2 these pictures of a utility pole leaning, seemingly from the saturated soil.
Who is paying for all of that lost water?
And it's certainly not billed to the ratepayers, because they're only billed what comes through their meter.
It has to come from somewhere. If they're losing that much money, they're losing that much water, then somebody has to pay for that.
The Texas Water Development Board says lost water in Houston cost the city more than $24 million in 2021. And last year, the city lost 2.4 million more gallons than the year before. And response times to fix the leaks are drastically slowing. In 2019, it took about 3.39 days to repair leaks. In 2022, repairs took an average of 6 days. In 2023 so far, Public Works says it's taking about 10 to 15 days to repair leaks.
If it's a water leak on a pipe that's serving a hospital, serving a nursing home, serving a school, those are the things that we put to the front of the line to make sure that we're keeping those in service. And if it's a small leak that's not impacting pressures, it may run longer, and we don't want that. Let me be clear, we don't want the water to be running down the street.
We wanted to ask Public Works Director Carol Haddock about the lost or outdated maps in this interview, but her communications liaison said our time was up.
Yes.
We're almost at time. So.
Okay, all right. What time do you have? All right, I want to make sure.
2:30.
Okay.
Councilmember Gallegos told us he would ask those questions. We could not.
Does Public Works agree that the maps are outdated for some parts of the city?
Oh yeah, for some parts of the city, yeah, the maps are outdated.
But why? What causes them to be outdated?
No, that's a question for Public Works.
You see what I mean, though? I guess if you have infrastructure and I have plats and drawings and blueprints, and if I make a change and along the way I note it on those documents, then they're never allowed to be outdated. So, by them saying they're outdated, at some point somebody dropped the ball, no?
Right, I would think so.
They know it's a problem, and I don't think they know how to fix it.
In a statement following our interview with Haddock, a public works spokesperson said the city's electronic maps do show the location of valves, but the maps in the field that crews use, she says, are not always exact because maybe they weren't updated after repairs or landscaping, or in some instances, the valves and pipes may have been paved over. The city has hired 4 contractors to help public works crews repair all of the breaks, but there's no word what, if anything, the department is doing to update its field maps to help improve repair times that would save the city's water supply. I'm Amy Davis, KPRC 2 News.